Hello and welcome to our special Easter visit to the woods for part 2 of Tale's End. Chapter 3, in which Colin starts the search and meets a new friend. Colin's father was not as enthusiastic about it as his mother had been about the idea of going to look for the missing animals. "You'll get lost too," Ray said. "You're a hopeless hunter. All you can hunt is berries and leaves. Then we'll all have to go looking for you as well." "Now, Ray," Viv scolded, "give him some encouragement. At least he wants to do something." "Well, if they're hidden under a pile of leaves or something, you might stand a chance," Ray said. "That's not fair," Colin protested. "I've known Squish and Brian all my life. Do you really think I don't know their scent?" "But they could be anywhere," Ray said. "Their scent will take you to where the tunnel caved in. But then what?" "I'll think of something. I got back from the town, remember?" "Yes, with the help of a cat. It's taken a while for you to live that one down, I can tell you." "Actually," Colin said, "that's not a bad idea. Maybe I should go and see Boots and ask if she's heard or seen anything." "Oh, not again," Ray argued. "The other foxes have only just stopped laughing after last time." "Anyway, I'm going, and that's that," Colin said. "If I can't find them, I'll come straight home, I promise." "If you can find," Ray began. "I'll find my way home," Colin said firmly. "You'll see." There was no more argument. Ray muttered a bit, but a look from Viv was all it took to silence him. And so, shortly afterwards, Colin found himself sniffing around a huge pile of earth, which had once been the entrance to a badger tunnel. There were badger scents all over the place, a very recognisable combination of musk, fur and soil. If you asked a fox how he could tell the difference between the scents of two animals of the same species, he would find it very hard to explain. There were very subtle differences, and you had to have the right nose to tell them apart. Colin had not known Nell long enough to know her scent, but in amongst the mixture of badger scents you could tell Brian's smell straight away. The trail of scent led straight to the pile of earth, and then stopped. Colin sat and looked at the mound of soil and roots and had no idea what to do next. "Badgers don't half smell," a voice from behind him said. He turned around and saw a face looking at him out of a nearby bush. It had a snout like a fox, and ears like a fox. But instead of the deep, reddy brown fur you would expect from a fox, this face was covered in glossy black fur. "Who are you?" Colin asked. There was a rustling, and the stranger came bounding out of the bush. It clearly was a fox, or rather a vixen, of about Colin's age, but she was completely black from nose to tail. She bounded over to Colin. "I'm Trixie," she said, bouncing around Colin in an excited way that made Colin's head spin. "Yes, I think you probably are," Colin replied. "Anyway, who are you? Why are you sniffing for badgers? Is something going on? Are you looking for something? Can I help?" The vixen called Trixie fired all these questions off rapidly, hopping and bouncing around Colin all the time. "Don't you ever keep still?" Colin asked. "When I'm asleep," Trixie answered and laughed. "That's what my mum says, and sometimes not even then." "Well, could you have a go at doing it now, please?" Colin suggested. "I'm trying to concentrate. I'm looking for my friends." There was a brief pause while Trixie sat down, head flicking rapidly from side to side. "They're not here," she declared, jumping up again. "Shall we go and look somewhere else?" "I know they're not here," Colin told her more patiently than he felt. "This is where they disappeared from. I'm trying to pick up their scent." Trixie shot off and ran round in a wide circle, snout to the ground and sniffing as she did so. "No, there's only a badger here," she said when she returned. "Wait a minute, are you looking for badgers?" "Are you looking for the badgers who got lost when the tunnel fell in? I heard about that. And squirrels. There were squirrels too. That means you're Colin, aren't you? You went to the town. Are you going on another adventure? Can I come?" "Yes, I'm Colin," Colin replied with a sigh, dizzy now from all the questions. "Yes, I went to town. Yes, I'm going to look for my friend. No, you can't come." Trixie suddenly stopped bouncing and sat down hard. She looked at Colin with a look of such sadness that Colin felt bad even though he had no real reason to. "Why not?" Trixie asked in a small voice. "I never get to go anywhere." "Well, for a start, I don't know you," Colin replied as gently as he could. "And I can go faster on my own. I've done this sort of thing before." Trixie thought for a moment. "There'll be lots of time to get to know me as we go," she replied, "and I won't hold you up. I'm very fast." "Yes, I can see that," Colin told her, "but the answer's still no. What would your parents think?" "Oh, they won't care," Trixie replied sadly. "They probably won't notice. They never do. I think it's because I'm the only one in our family with black fur. I think I sort of disappear into the shadows." And then she did exactly that. She vanished back into the bush from where she had appeared and was gone. Colin felt suddenly guilty. Maybe he had been a bit harsh, but then he thought again. He was not responsible for Trixie. He'd only just met her, and knew nothing about her. His responsibility was to his friends, so he tried to put all thoughts of this strange, dark, furred little vixen out of his head, and went back to trying to trace Brian's scent. The trouble was that Brian's scent and the lighter scent of Squish and White Tip had just vanished. Colin could tell exactly where they'd entered the tunnel, but no more. He tried to follow the path the tunnel might have taken, but badgers dig deep, and it was clearly too far underground for even the most sensitive fox nose to trace. Much as he hated to do so, he had to admit defeat here and try and think of another way to find his friends. Chapter 4, in which our heroes have a decision to make. It was nearly a full day's walk before Brian, Nell, Squish and White Tip came across the other river the otter had mentioned. White Tip was on lookout duties at the time and saw it first, even though the day's sunlight was fading to dusk. Her keen eyes spotted it from her vantage point in the trees, and she came scampering down to tell her friends. "I can see it," she squeaked. "It's just round the next bend." They all hurried along the riverbank and round the next bend, and sure enough, there it was. The river they had been following carried on, but another slightly smaller river forked off from it and went in a different direction. "So which one do we follow?" Brian asked. White Tip and Nell both said, "This one," and "that one," at exactly the same time. "I'm not sure that helps," Squish observed. "I don't know about this new river," Nell said. "There's something about it. Look where it goes." She raised a paw and pointed. Through the deepening gloom, the other animals could make out what she meant. The new river carried on through an open countryside for a short distance, then disappeared into what looked like a very thick, dark wood. "That's not our woods," White Tip said, and it was a statement, not a question. "No, I don't think it is," Brian replied. "It doesn't look very welcoming." "It's going too dark to tell," Squish said. "It might look different in the daylight. Let's rest here for the night and see how it looks in the morning. Then we can make a decision." Nobody slept particularly well that night, and when they woke early the next morning, the choice was not really any clearer. The woods they had seen still looked dark and uninviting, and the early morning mist which hung around the river like damp cobwebs just made it worse. Squish and Brian sat on the riverbank and tried to work out their options. "I can't help feeling we're going the wrong way if we follow the same river," Squish said. I think we would have been home by now." "Yes, but look at those woods," Brian argued. "They don't look much like our woods." "I don't think they are our woods," Squish replied, "but I think they may lead there. I think we just need to follow the river through them and out the other side." "But what if there isn't another side?" Brian asked nervously. "What if the woods just get deeper and darker? Then we're lucky you can see so well in the dark, aren't we?" Brian was just about to express his concerns about what else could see well in the dark and might be in the woods when White Tip and Nell returned from foraging for breakfast. "We've just been talking," White Tip said. "We think we need to follow the new river." "Well, that's what I said," Squish told her. "I really don't like the look of those woods," Brian said. "There could be anything in them." "Yes, there could," Nell agreed, "but we can face it together. We've beaten no fur hunters together. With a lot of other badgers," Brian added. "But we still did it," Nell said firmly. "We just have to be brave, and you are brave, Brian." Brian took another look at the dark woods and shuddered, but the way Nell was looking at him made him feel stronger. "Right then," he said. "Let's do it." The friends took their time over breakfast, almost as if they were all trying to put off the moment to leave, but eventually they finished and set off along the bank of this new river towards the woods. "Do you know," Brian asked as they walked, "I don't think it looks as bad close up." "Oh, Brian," Nell laughed, "it looks every bit as bad." She was right. The nearer they got to the woods, the more forbidding they looked. It didn't help that as they drew near, a rabbit popped out of a hole in the ground, giving them a fright. "Oh, sorry about that," the rabbit said, "just woken up." "Hey, you're not going into those woods, are you?" "We thought we might," Squish replied. "Why?" "Oh, no reason," the rabbit said, "just not my sort of place, really." "Why's that?" White Tip asked. "Just preference," the rabbit told her. "Other places where I'd rather be, nicer places with a bit of sun and fewer..." He stopped speaking as if he'd said too much. "Fewer what?" White Tip wanted to know. "Nothing, forget it," the rabbit said. "Just go if you want to. Don't let me put you off. Just because I wouldn't go in there for anything in the world doesn't mean you can't." "Oh, thanks very much," White Tip said. "That's really very helpful." "Ah, no problem," the rabbit replied and disappeared down a hole. "I've never liked rabbits," Brian remarked. "Sometimes I think foxes have the right idea." Without another word, Brian set off along the riverbank towards the start of the new woods. Nell followed close behind with Squish and White Tip at her side. And so the four friends headed off into the deep, dark woods. When they came out the other side, they would only be 3. See you again tomorrow.